This is Doreen with the Audio Perculator with a next episode of The Revolution is Internal. During National Poetry Month, though every month is National Poetry Month, we welcome poets Cindy Calderon and Lola Cooper. And we're going to contemplate this subject of the revolution being internal through poetry. I'm so excited to have the both of you with me. It's a special treat. And you're my sisters. I love you both. And I'd like to start with our poet, Cindy Calderon. Please, please share your work with us.
Absolutely. I chose two poems this evening, and they're both taken from my book, Spoken Word by Cindy, A Dream Come True. And the first poem is called Believe It. Um, Most people, you'll find that they just don't really believe that a situation can happen, especially a dream that they may have or a goal that they may have. So this poem was written to inspire those that want to do something to say you just have to just believe it. If you know it, believe it. Don't ask it, believe it. Show it, tell it, wear it, share it, speak it, shout it. Don't doubt it. Be all about it. Make people surround it. Don't step on it and ground it. Put your name on it as the person who found it. Don't dance around it. Take your dreams and expound it. Stay away from people who drown it or the haters that look and frown it. Crown it is yours. Don't kill it and deceive it. Live it and believe it.
Love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, continue, please.
So in the process of believing that you can do something, that takes a lot sometimes, just to believe you can do it. Sometimes we find that the reason we can't believe in something or we don't have the ability to believe in it is because we have fear. And everybody has that measure of fear that makes them not be able to take that next step. So the next poem is entitled just that. It's entitled Fear. And it's just another encouraging piece to step up, look fear in the face, and say, Fear, leave me alone. All you want to do is bring me down, 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 disseminate my inner strength, make me feel I'm not worth it, isolate and captivate my mind. You try to deactivate, but I see you trying to creep up beside me and whisper in my ear, trying to disguise yourself, trying to make me fear. Don't you know? Haven't you heard? I'm stronger than that. Your tactic, absurd. It's like old politics, the strong versus the weak, the struggle with fear I am destined to defeat. I won't be broken. I believe in myself. If I succumb to fear, what else would be left? My generations I see from afar, and for all of them, I must set the bar. So listen up, fear. Just leave me alone. I'm destined for success. It's deep in my bones. So take your negative and your misleading tone and fear, oh, fear, just leave me alone.
Thank you. I'm glad you did that one. I
Thank
didn't,
you.
I don't think I remembered that you were going to do that, or we just decided that you just decided to do it, and that was great and very
Thank you.
relevant. We'll get back to that. I'd like to move on to Lola Cooper, my good friend and close sister, Lola Cooper, who I have deep affection for. So proud of her and all the things that Lola has been doing with her work. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Lola, please share with us what you're going to do today.
I'm going to do some material from my book, In Love with Mom. And this is it. And this journey or this book is about the three different mothers that raised me. And one of them was my stepmother. So this piece is called Stepmom. Don't step on me or over me. I'm your man's child. You are seeking a man. I came with the package. I'm his. Love me. You say you love him. I'm a part of him. love me, raise me up, stand me next to you, lift me up, put me on your shoulder. And when he sees me up there, he will love you in a way you never imagined.
That's one of my favorites. Thank you so much. Please continue, Lola.
And the other one, I think it fits kind of what we're talking about. Because I always had these different things that resonated with me, like it's my turn, or excuse me, or do you know, or I've got to be me. it's, it was always something like looking out and wondering what I was supposed to be doing or who I am. And so I wrote this one. It's called Mama, and it was with my mother in mind and just women in general, myself and other women in mind. And it's called Mama. Mama, who did you want to be before you became Mama? What did you want to do? What did you want to do? What did you want to do before you became Mama? Where did you want to go? Where did you want to go? Where did you want to go before you became Mama? What did you want to see? What did you want to see? What did you want to see before you became Mama? Now it's your chance. Go be. Now it's your chance. Go be. Now it's your chance. Go be anything but Mama. So that's,
Yes,
moving forward, doing what you want to do, figuring out what you want to do.
fantastic. Um, I think let's stay with you right now, Lola, since we just had these readings. Um, let's just talk briefly. First of all, I love the work, and I'm sure that our audience can relate to it because it's real. Both of you, the work is is real. That's why you're both here, because it's not a contrivance. It's from the heart, and it's real work and real experience. Lola, when did you realize you wanted to write and perform, and how did you make the movement from conceptualizing it and doing it?
Um, I don't know if I realized it. I just started doing it because when growing up, I always had a vivid imagination. I always had stories in my head. I was always entertaining the family. When I went to grade school, writing stories, if they gave an open essay, that was like exciting for me to be able to write an essay and pick any subject that I wanted. So later on, I guess in my early 20s, I just started writing skits to entertain people because I like entertaining people. I was an observer of people. So I had these stories. And so I just started doing it. And then I just, I guess it became more of something I could do. What would I say? A broader audience or include more people. Maybe when I was like late 20s, um, I started doing like these big shows, variety shows, and I just enjoyed entertaining people. I loved the joy that people got. And I would write things that they could relate to and that was funny. And, it was just something that was really fun to do.
Yeah. Um, how has it affected you at this point? Through I know you started out writing and doing larger productions. Um, life experience really allows you to say a lot in your work.
Mhm.
How has it affected you as a woman, being able to reach places in terms of your personal growth that you wanted to go?
Um, I say greatly, greatly. It it opened me up to other artists, for one thing, other artistic people. It's like therapy, and then also for me, it's like a friend because it's something I can always go to. And when there's nobody else, I still have my writing. I can still put things down on paper, and I still have my imagination, and it's just a constant. It's a constant in my life, and it like I said, it opened me up to experiences, to other people of like mind. Um, and it's expansive for me. I think it expanded my world just to be able to really pursue writing.
I also see that how much work you've done with young people. I've seen
Yeah.
you use young people in your casts,
Mhm.
and I've seen how they've been affected. One of
Yeah.
theater was a first love of mine, and I used to love directing. But what I
Mhm.
enjoyed so much was getting people to express themselves in ways they hadn't before,
Yeah.
to be open, to be bold, to be clear, and to not be afraid of that, or of maybe of who they are, or maybe just developing. How do you feel? I mean, I know that your words have helped me reading your poems.
So thank
Um,
you.
you're welcome. And also Ronnie, our friend Ronnie, who was a creative partner of mine, and all of y'all as well. She had done visual representations of your books that kind of captured the fun, because there was
Yeah.
always fun in your
Yeah.
books and your
Right.
poems and your plays. And sometimes some of the work that you did was with children, with art
Mhm.
and projects. Can you
Right.
talk about that part of your life, and how you've been able to your work with young people, children? I know you had taught for years as well.
Yeah. Well, I'll speak about some of the side projects. I did work with children professionally, but I've done art and crafts projects with children. And like you said, that is a lot of fun for me because you give the children the canvas, the materials, and I let them paint whatever they want. So they have markers, they have paint, they have the brushes, they have glue, scissors, and they're like, really? We could do whatever we want to do. And I'm like, go for it. So you get to see, they get to see their creative process. They get to see what they can create. You get to see it, their parents get to see it, and that gives them a lot of confidence. And even teenagers and adults too, young adults. When I started doing the variety shows, sometimes people were timid, they were shy, they had never performed, they didn't know they could perform, and just giving them that open space and that confidence, and letting them, okay, here's an outline. Now you come up with something. Here's a program. And I would give them generalities, and then they could just create what they wanted to create. Even the play that I recently did, those women were not really experienced, most of them. And I and they didn't know how to develop the characters, but we developed them together. So I said, have fun with it. You know, just relax. Just get into it. Get into the material. And they started, identifying, I no, resonating. I don't know, they just started really being able to develop the characters, bring themselves into it, do things that they didn't expect to do. And, they had a lot of fun, and it opened them up. And I love seeing that, being able to do that for other people.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for all you've done. And I was Ronnie. Ronnie is RM Cruz,
Yeah.
who is a all around artist and scholar and thinker. And there'll be a separate episode on her.
Right.
um,
And she
uh,
did the cover.
yes, she did the cover, and I will probably feature some thumbnails of the covers in our files and on the website when I post this interview. We're going to move on to Cindy Calderon. This has been wonderful, Cindy. I know there's a lot that you do, and so both are gonna have y'all are both going to have to come back to the show. But before I get off on a tangent, let's just talk about you and how you ended up being a poet, a writer, a performer, recording, hosting. There's a lot that you do. Tell me about how that came about, please.
I wish I knew. I wish I knew. As far back as I can remember, I've always been into literary arts. From my goodness, from grade school, I've always wrote. That was one of the things I did. I was always in the library. I worked in the library with the librarians, and as early as public school, went to junior high school and was still in the library. I was always involved in some kind of club in school, and I was always applied. Um,
Mhm.
so I guess it just kind of came naturally from birth. My dad said I was the only baby that was talking in the nursery, so maybe that followed me through life. I don't know.
It seems like it's very natural. Your poems are um they're kind of dimensional.
Oh wow!
They get into a lot of different things, and I think people
Thank
really have to see you perform
you.
to
Thank you.
understand all the places they go. But tell me about some of the coming of age things, or I guess the poems that are about finding out who you are. I love fear.
Thank you.
What was some of the motivations behind that kind of writing?
Um, I'm a person that most of my writing it is definitely coming from an internal place with myself, and I don't quite remember exactly when I wrote fear, but it applies to me daily. And I just find that fear is something that it can happen at any moment. You could be afraid to go for a job interview. You could be afraid to do it just about anything in life. And I've always been one to sort of want to burst through and burst on the scene. And you burst on the scene, you have to excuse yourself from fear because other than that, it will never happen. So um like I said, I've always been one to if you call my
Excuse
I'm
me.
going to take the shot. I'm always going to take the shot, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I experience. I mean, as a human, I experience, but I've always challenged fear and said, you know what,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do it, no matter how afraid I am to do it. So the development of that kind of came just with a whole encompass of life in general. Fear of getting my driver's license, fear of traveling a longer distance for the first time, I fear all sorts of fears. And I think, like speaking of driving, one of my biggest fears in driving was merging. I always had a problem with merging, and now tell that you couldn't even tell. And so, anytime I've actually ever came up against something that fear was a problem, that became my major objective to overcome the fear of whatever that was. I think those have been some heavy milestones in my life. Whatever it is that
Mhm.
you fear the situation, I've always stomped on it and just said it has to get done.
Yes, I see that about you. I see that you get
Thank
it
you.
done.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen anything stop you from getting it done at
Oh,
all.
thank you.
I'm serious. But
Thank
now I
you.
know that you have a family and you balance that with other responsibilities. Did you already have a family when you started doing poetry, or did that happen at the same time?
No,
How did
no,
that
no.
all
Like I said, I've started writing. It's oh my goodness, as far back as I can remember,
okay.
I was involved in storytelling contests and
Right,
um,
right, right. Sorry.
always somewhere where there had to be writing. I can remember as early as the fourth grade that my homework assignment was to learn the Star Spangled Banner, and I remember going home and I had to learn every word. And I remember focusing, trying to learn every word of the Star Spangled Banner. Because I didn't know it, but I wanted to know it. I wanted to know every word. So anything that had to do with literary arts, I remember being in love with books like Curious George,
Mhm.
Amelia, this different books like that. And as I got older, I started getting more into the I know why the cage birds sing, and I always dissected words. I've always been like that. I've always dissected words. I've always
Mhm.
to be like not perfect with the wording, but I wanted my wording to stand out. So even if I had my mom or dad had to write a letter to the school for giving me permission to do something, I wanted that letter to be the perfect well. As far back as I can remember, to be honest,
Mhm.
as I
Mhm.
remember
And then
that.
performing,
Yeah.
like the way I've seen you
Um.
perform in New York?
Well, that came. Well, actually my junior high school major at the time. They had a drama program. I always smile about that because when you actually go to sign up for school, you pick what you want. And I instantly wanted to be in the drama class. So we did everything. We filled out the application. And then when September came, I can never forget this. They didn't have a drama teacher, so it never took place. It never took place. So I never got to do drama in school. Um, but I often reminisce back and I always ask myself what made me gravitate to drama back then. I don't have no idea. So moving fast forward to now, performing the poetry, that's an interesting question because um, I recited poetry because there's one thing just to recite poetry and talk about your poetry, but to become center stage and to actually do your poetry center stage as a featured artist, that didn't come until I believe 2013 or 14 when I showcased for Lola for her. She had a poetry show and she invited me to come and I did it and I did it in front of the audience. And that was actually the first time that I actually performed a lengthy session of my poetry, a lengthy session. So, and once again, fear, I just stomped fear out and just, did it. And did she invited me back as a featured artist. And so that I can really credit that time to me actually stepping on the scene to do poetry in its totality, not just reciting a piece here or there, but to actually put on a show and just begin to expand over a course of time to now I actually do shows. Yeah.
Well, enjoyed speaking with both of you about this portion of your journeys, in the sense that we talked about how it happened, what you did. I want to invite you back again to talk, maybe in a group setting, so we can kind of take this to another level. And I just want to just give you send my love to both of you for taking your time out of your busy schedules to be with me and to share your work. I'm looking for opportunities for you to be able to share more of your work. So again, Cindy, let me ask you, where can we learn more about your work or connect with, anything you have written or?
Yes, right now my first book is out on it actually you can find it anywhere online. It's called Word by Cindy, A Dream Come True. So that you can find that pretty much up on
Can you repeat the title?
Spoken Word by Cindy. True.
Okay.
And you can find that by Cindy Calderon. You can find that on Amazon, anywhere online. You can find it.
I'll put that in the description.
Yeah, you can find it.
For you.
I'm so proud of you. You can find it anywhere. I am building right now. My website is being constructed right now because I have like a whole bunch of other things that's going to be included in the website. But I do have a lot of material. But there'll be once the website is up, I'm anticipating it to be up for June. Yeah, and that site will be cool. I love what I do, but I'll give you more information on that.
Yes, we'll be sharing that with our audience. And Lola, tell us, how can we connect with you online?
Well, right now I'm using the website somethingforus.com.
Okay, that's
And
something for the number 4 us.
the number 4, yes, dot somethingforus.com.
Okay. I'll be putting that all in the description box. And I want to give a special thanks to
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
to both of you,
thank
and
you.
also to our interpreter, Keelin Thomas, who's joined us today. This has been wonderful. I would love to stretch this out a lot longer, but this is it for now. So we'll be getting together again soon. Again, this is Doreen with the Audio Perculator. Thank you for joining us, and take care. Peace and love.
Oh, bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.